Hi there, it's Sherry, and today I want to talk about what it means to have a self-care plan. Now, this is a kind of personal yoga practice where we're taking deep care of the self. And if you've heard some of my other meditations in that, when we're talking about caring for the self, there is the care we do for the physical body, and then there's the care we do for our nervous system, our energetic self. So resting when we need to rest might look like that. Spending time doing a breath practice might look like that. Practices that actually turn down our stress response system is a way of really caring for both that physical self, the energetic self, and then we've got the heart, mind, self, right? We might be dealing a lot with the heart, mind, self of a lot of anxiety coming up, a lot of frustration coming up. It is the 1st of November in the United States, and in 2 days we will have our presidential election for 2020. And so there's a lot of things coming up. So it has been recommended to me personally that I have a self-care plan for the election day itself. Right? I live with an anxiety disorder and a disorder that causes depression. I have complex PTSD. And so I thought about sharing this insight of what that means to have a self-care plan. So you too can apply this. So one thing that happens for me with my anxiety is that I often will forget to eat, or I'll often feel really nauseous because I'm anxious and won't want to eat. So part of my self-care plan is always having foods available for different times a day, right? I have easy things for breakfast that I can eat that really sit okay in my stomach. I have lots of, I have been picking up things that are lots of comforting foods. This is not a time to think about, oh, I can't have this, or certain foods are forbidden. Really think about what foods for your self-care plan make you feel both comforted and nourished. They don't have to necessarily do both. It's a superfood if it can do both nourish you and comfort you. But there's nothing wrong with having some comforting foods on hand for a part of a self-care plan, and nourishing foods that are also very simple to put together, right? Unless, right, a little side note, if your self-care, right, is getting totally lost into making a complicated, beautiful meal, then prepare for it. Get everything you need and have it ready to go. And have a simple, quick, nourishing thing. So if it turns out on the day you plan to make that complicated thing, you just don't have the energy for it, you're not stuck. And I think that is the most important thing as you're coming up with your self-care plan. You start with that physical body. What steps do I need to make sure that this physical body is cared for and nourished? I remember to rest, right? If I need a nap during the day, I try not to beat myself up for needing a nap and I just lay down, because these are all caring for the physical body. And then napping, it's a great segue, cares for that energetic body. If the nervous system is in that stress response mode, a nap can be really soothing and grounding. I even have a weighted blanket I use for naps that can really help me feel, like I'm okay and I can rest. And then there's that care of the heart, mind, body. So this might look like, if you're a person who likes coloring books or making art, that part of your self-care plan would be to have coloring books and colored pencils or pens and art things on hand and ready for you to just jump into that, right? Or maybe it's a good novel or a familiar novel, one that you just love. Or my spouse, my wife, likes to watch familiar TV shows when she's feeling really down. She watches comfort shows. And again, this is not a time to be critical and judging and saying, I should be doing more. I should be reading up on something. No, these are times to think about, how does this system that is living in a state of heightened stress response, which fills the body with all kinds of chemicals for us to fight, flee, or collapse, right? Or freeze, right? And so we need to have these comforting, self-soothing practices that remind the system that actually we are not under attack. In this space you have created for yourself, you are safe. So all of these practices, I like to think of it rather than like a plan, like then I do X and then I do Y, then I do 1, is that it is a whole like toolkit. And I can go to this toolkit when I'm feeling like my mind is going, and I can say, okay, what's in the toolkit? Make a pot of soup. That's one on my list. And then I might think, it's gonna be dinner in an hour and a half. Make a pot of soup would be a really good one, because then I'll have this nourishing food in a little while. Right? So I put those things together. I need to nourish the body, and I need an activity that soothes the heart mind, and all of these things are soothing my stress response system. So take a moment and just jot down the things that are on your plan. Those favorite books, those favorite shows. Get a bottle of bubble bath and have it on standby, or the ingredients for your most comforting meal. And have those things on hand so that when you have a day, as I imagine the election day in the United States will be in 2020 on November 3rd, you have a whole set of different tools. So in the moment, if one is like, oh, that does not sound good at all to you, you just say, okay, what else is in my toolbox? What sounds good at this moment that will soothe me and ground me and keep me present and whole? I hope this has been really helpful in looking at what a self-care plan means to you and how to create one and use one at times when you are feeling like your ability to soothe and stay grounded is really challenged. Thank you so much for your practice.